Hello everyone, glad you can join me today. Today I want to talk about buying your first compound bow, what you should get, what you should expect, maybe some possible gear recommendations. I'm making this video assuming that you maybe know nothing about archery, what's going on in the world of archery today, what you should buy. You're kind of a newbie and you kind of just want to do a little bit of internet research before you go out to your local pro shop or your local sporting goods store and buy yourself a compound bow. So I want to show you some things, whether you're a kiddo or you're a guy like me or you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. This video should apply to you and all those types of archery that we're going to need to talk about for compound anyway. First thing I want to say is you need to hit up your used bow section. If you're brand new to archery, you don't have $700, $800, $900 to $1,000. You're shouting out for one of these top high-end bows. I don't even have that kind of money, and I'm into archery like you wouldn't believe. So check your Craigslist. Here in Pennsylvania, we have what's called the Penwoods Classifieds. Bows go on that all the time. Obviously, the bow, but you can pick up all the accessories with the bow, the arrows, and the releases and extra parts and so on and so forth for way less than if you went to your local pro shop, your local sporting goods store, and bought that all together. So definitely look at the used bow market. Especially though, with used bows, though, is you need to take them to your local pro shop. Not like your big box store, but a pro shop. Have them look it up, have them set it up for you, because it was originally set up for the original archer, and now you need to set it up for you to shoot. So buy a used bow if you're really going to want to get an archery. You want to buy a nice bow, and you don't really want to spend a whole lot of money. And then definitely take it to your local pro shop and have them look at it for you and have them set it up for your shooting style. So let's say now you're a guy like me. You know, you're in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and you're capable of pulling back and working with a larger poundage bow. There are so many different styles of bows on the market today, so many different brands. You know, you have things like Hoyt, Matthews is a good one. This is a PSC. Now this is a bow that I bought off of Craigslist along with a dozen arrows and a whole bunch of other equipment. For I think it was like $400. This bow by itself, this is the Bow Madness XS from 2011. So I bought it last year, so the guy had it 3 years, and so all I needed to do was replace the string and cables on it and adjust it for me, and I was good to go. So two things with bows real quick. You have single cam bows, which they'll have the wheel at the top, and they'll have the cam, the oblong shaped thing, on the bottom. You'll see bows that are like this, the single cam set, and you'll see bows like this. This is a Diamond Infinite Edge, my wife's bow. It has two cam systems, two of those oblong kind of egg-shaped things. Those are basically the two styles of compound bows you see today. And it's strictly a matter of preference. One is not inherently better than the other. It used to be that single cams tuned a lot better than dual cams, but in today's market, in today's world, Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, Bowtech, they just make phenomenal dual cam, cam and a half systems, and they're just really good. I just bumped into this bow. It was nice. It fit my draw length. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". I needed a 31-inch draw length, and I have even an extra long D-loop on here. So this just fit the bill, and I really happen to like it. It's a very smooth shooting bow. Single cams are smoother in their draw than a dual cam the vast majority of the time. Although again, you'll have to go, and if you really want to buy a new bow, go to your local archery shop and check out the draws and bows, shoot a whole bunch of bows, and find out. Now, the biggest question that a lot of people have when they go to get a bow is, how much poundage should I get? And let's take it first from the perspective of hunting. 40 pounds will kill anything. Heck, 35 pounds. But 40 pounds will kill anything 30 yards and under in the North American continent. Everybody is overbowed, basically, in the archery world. And it's unfortunate. But you don't need 70-pound bows, max to 72, 73 pounds, shooting 340 feet a second to be an effective hunter. I'm shooting probably only about 275, 280 feet per second, shooting a 430 grain arrow, plenty. That's more than enough. Don't feel like, oh, I gotta go and get a 70-pound bow and be like all these other people. Don't do that. You'll hurt yourself. Get a bow that's comfortable to shoot, work your way up. And speaking of shooting light poundage bows, let's talk about those of you who might be a little bit smaller in stature. Maybe you're just a smaller guy, maybe you're a kiddo, maybe you're a lady. In the instance, my wife here, she has this Diamond Infinite Edge. It does come pink. There's a lot of good women's bows on the market today. Again, this is like that dual cam system, binary cam. And this has a cheaper Trophy Ridge sight. It's still metal, it's still aluminum, but still, I think this was probably only a $50 sight. Check Amazon. You don't have to buy it from a reputable sporting goods store or anything like that. Check Amazon. It's good stuff. Check eBay. Check Craigslist. It's great way to find archery equipment. Has a cheap arrow rest on here. I forget the name of this. I think it's an Octane. Oh no, excuse me, a Hostage. It even has the tubed peep in here, and it shoots great. We actually just tested it today. She's only shooting at 37 pounds, and she's more than capable of taking any sort of animal here, especially in Pennsylvania, white-tailed deer and turkeys. So it's a really beautiful bow. It's really light. Again, I'm not a proponent for diamond, but a lot of bows on the market today that are geared towards youth and for women are very light. They're very small. This is a very short axle to axle, and this is the kind of bow you want to look at getting. And its price point, fully loaded. I got this bow off of eBay, brand new, but I got it fully loaded with arrows, a quiver, which isn't on here. The rest, the Apex sight, which I showed you earlier, I put a better one on here. The tube was set up. I just ended up having to adjust the draw length and adjusting it for her. And I got it all set up for less than $350 off of eBay, shipped to my door. So that today, you can't beat it. Now this bow here, the Infinite Edge, is adjustable in a plethora of ranges, and that's good. That's if you want to be into archery and you think you're going to be in it a while, getting a really adjustable bow like that is good. I've shot it. It's not the most solid back wall. It's a little bit mushy. It's not the fastest bow in the market, but oh my goodness, is it fun to shoot. And so this is a good recommend. They do come in like black and camel and a lot of other price point bows at $350, $400 fully set up. Bear makes a good one. Bowtech makes great ones. So I highly recommend you look at that kind of stuff. You want to buy a brand new bow. So you've bought a bow, you have all that stuff with you. Now you need arrows. In my opinion, the arrow is way more important than the bow. A lot of people go and buy a really expensive bow and then they buy inexpensive arrows and they expect to have really solid performance out of their groupings, their form, the quiet level of the bow, and the consistency of the arrows, and they just don't get it. I went to Walmart for years and picked out $3.50 Carbon Express arrows there off the shelf, and I shot okay. I mean, I arrowed a few deer here and there, but it wasn't the kind of accuracy I wanted. And it wasn't until I started buying a little more expensive arrows and I actually started making my own arrows, which is a little bit more complex. I'm not going to get into that. But it wasn't until I started doing those kind of things where I started to see better performance and I started having accuracy of unreal proportions. Lots of different makers out there in the market today. Easton is coming way up the line. It has been for a while. You have Carbon Express. This pink guy here, something you might find out at Walmart. I actually just saw them the other day. This is what my wife shoots, and they work just great. They're not a bad arrow. 30-50, so it's meant for that lighter poundage. It's really got a nice soft spine, so it really is a good choice. And that's fine. We didn't know if my wife would like archery, so those inexpensive arrows would. Now, something like these bloodlines here, coming fletched from the factory, they're $7, $8, $9 a pop. This arrow here, I think, was $4. So, sure, you get a greater, you know, they're straighter, their weight tolerances are different, but it's way more expensive. So if you want to try some inexpensive arrows, see if you even like archery, It's not a bad idea. And here's another Easton. This one I've wrapped and fletched myself. It used to come with just kind of nasty colored orange and yellowish fletching, so I actually made it up nice and pretty. And then this is a gold tip. Gold tip, phenomenal arrow. This I actually shoot out of my recurve. All of these arrows are excellent arrows. They all shoot very well. But again, if you want to think, maybe you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a dozen arrows. You buy a dozen of these at $8 a pop. You're talking $96 right out the door. Maybe you don't want to spend that much on arrows. Maybe you just want to buy 3 or 4 of the more inexpensive. Carbon Express, great name, good product. Tinker if you wish. But if you want to buy an arrow, start inexpensive and work your way up, so you don't have a whole bunch of couple $100 in arrows and find out you don't even like the sport. Okay, last thing, and I'll promise I'll let you go. A couple things you're going to want to add to your bow setup before you leave. You want to get yourself a good quality string wax. This is Bohning Tex-Tite. You're going to want to wax your string. It makes the life of your string go exponentially longer than it would without it. So definitely pick yourself up a tube of this. Also, you're going to want some sort of points. If you're just going to goof off with archery and you're just going to have fun, get yourself a pack 100 grain, 125 grain field points and just go to town. Basically, most compound setups are going to shoot 100 grain points. That's pretty much what you're going to be shooting. If you're looking at getting into hunting, you're going to want some sort of broadhead. The 2 styles of broadheads that I shoot for my expandable, which I shoot out of my compound, I shoot the PSE Shockwave, or not the PSE Shockwave, NAP Shockwave, and then I shoot a Magnus Stinger 2-blade out of my recurve bow. This can be shot perfectly fine out of a compound bow. This you shouldn't shoot out of a recurve though. But you can watch my broadhead video on that to learn. Stop into your local pro shop, ask them what kind of bow you should get, and if they recommend you to a used bow, again, look at Craigslist. eBay is a phenomenal place to find bows. It's a little expensive for shipping. Look in your local classifieds. Those are the places you're going to want to find. And hopefully, with all of that advice and the tips I've given you today, you can find yourself a bow. You can get out in the woods. You can get out in your yard. You can get out somewhere, start shooting, slinging a few arrows, have fun, and enjoy the sport of archery. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.